Maya heard the words that would change her life forever. If you can't find a husband in 3 days, you lose everything. Her foster sister, Gwen, said with a nasty smile. That's the bet. 3 days, Maya, or you're out on the street with nothing. Maya's hands shook. She stood in the giant living room of the Thompson mansion, surrounded by people who hated her. Her foster mother Diana sat on the velvet couch, filing her nails like Maya's future didn't matter at all. This is cruel, Maya whispered. Cruel? Gwen laughed. You've lived in our house for 15 years, eaten our food, worn our clothes. Now it's time to prove you're worth something. Maya was 23 years old. She had no real family. The Thompsons took her when she was 8, after her parents died in a car crash. But they never treated her like family. She was more like a servant, a toy they could push around. 3 days, Diana said, not looking up. Starting now. Maya ran to her tiny room in the attic. Her heart hammered in her chest. Where could she find a husband in 3 days? She had no friends. The Thompsons made sure of that. They told everyone Maya was strange, broken. No one at school ever talked to her. She sat on her bed and cried. 2 days passed. Maya asked every man she saw, at the grocery store, at the bus stop, at the park. They all said no. Some laughed at her. Some looked scared and walked away fast. On the 3rd day, Maya walked through the city with no hope left. The sun was setting. In a few hours, she would lose. Gwen would throw her out. She would have nowhere to go. Then she saw the hospital. City General Hospital stood tall and white against the orange sky. Maya's feet moved before her brain could think. She pushed through the glass doors into the cold, bright lobby. A nurse rushed past carrying folders. Please. Maya grabbed her arm. I need help. The nurse frowned. Are you hurt? No. I need to find someone. Anyone who needs. Maya couldn't finish. It sounded crazy. But the nurse's face changed. She looked sad suddenly. Tired. Room 304. The nurse whispered. 3rd floor. The man there is dying. He has no family. No one comes to visit. The machines keep him alive, but... She shook her head. His name is Daniel Carter. He was a soldier. He got hurt very badly 7 months ago. He's been asleep ever since. Maya's chest felt tight. Why are you telling me this? Because you look like you need a miracle, the nurse said. And maybe he does too. Maya took the elevator to the 3rd floor. Her legs felt like jelly. Room 304 was at the end of a long, quiet hallway. She pushed open the door. The room was dark except for the glow of machines. They beeped and hummed, keeping track of a heartbeat. In the bed lay a man. He looked young, maybe 30. His face was pale but handsome. Strong jaw, dark hair. His chest moved up and down slowly with the help of a breathing tube. Hello, Maya whispered, even though she knew he couldn't hear. My name is Maya. She sat in the chair beside his bed. His hand rested on top of the white blanket. Without thinking, Maya reached out and touched it. His skin was warm. I know this is crazy, she said to the sleeping man, but I need help. Bad people are trying to hurt me. If I don't find a husband today, I lose everything. I have nowhere to go. Tears rolled down her cheeks. You don't know me. I don't know you. But the nurse said you're alone. I'm alone too. Maybe we could help each other. The machines beeped. Daniel didn't move. Maya found a nurse and explained what she needed. The nurse looked shocked. Then she looked at Maya's desperate face and made a phone call. 6 hours later, at midnight, a tired judge came to the hospital. 2 nurses served as witnesses. Maya wore her old blue dress, the only nice thing she owned. Daniel lay unconscious in his bed. Do you, Maya Rose, take this man as your husband? The judge asked. I do, Maya said, her voice cracking. And do you, Daniel Carter, take this woman as your wife? Silence. Just the beep of machines. The judge looked uncomfortable. In cases of medical emergency, the state allows... He can't say yes, Maya interrupted. I know, but I promise I'll take care of him. I promise I'll be good to him. I need this. Please. The judge signed the papers. Maya signed too. Just like that. She was married to a stranger. A dying stranger who didn't even know she existed. Maya stayed in the hospital room that night. She held Daniel's hand and cried. "I'm sorry," she whispered. "I'm so sorry. This wasn't right. But thank you. Thank you for saving me." The next morning, Maya went back to the Thompson mansion with her marriage certificate. She showed it to Gwen and Diana. Gwen's face turned red. "This is fake." "It's legal," Maya said quietly. "I'm married. I win." Diana threw a vase at the wall. It shattered into a million pieces. But Maya had won the bet. They couldn't throw her out. For 7 months, Maya lived in that mansion. Every day, she visited Daniel in the hospital. She read him books, told him about her day, held his hand. The doctors said he might never wake up. His brain was badly damaged. But Maya kept visiting. She felt connected to him somehow. This stranger who saved her, without knowing it. Then one Tuesday morning, Maya's phone rang. It was Gwen. Grandmother had a stroke. Gwen screamed, "Get to the hospital now. Hurry!" Maya's heart dropped. Old Mrs. Thompson was mean, but she was still family. Maya grabbed her coat and ran. But when Maya burst into the hospital room Gwen told her about, she froze. Mrs. Thompson sat in a chair, perfectly healthy, eating grapes. Gwen stood beside her, smiling that terrible smile. "Surprise," Gwen said. "There was no stroke. We just wanted you here." "Why?" Maya's voice shook. "Because," Diana walked in from behind, "we've decided you've been married long enough. Time for a divorce. We found a lawyer. Sign the papers, Maya. Your little game is over." Maya's world tilted. She looked at the stack of papers in Diana's hands. Divorce papers. After everything. After 7 months of visiting Daniel. Of hoping. Of caring. They wanted to rip it all away. But as Maya stared at those papers, something inside her changed. For 7 months, she'd been silent. Obedient. Scared. Not anymore. "No," Maya said. Gwen laughed. "What did you say?" "I said no." Maya's voice grew stronger. "Daniel is my husband. I'm not signing anything. He's practically dead." Diana shouted. "He's alive," Maya shot back. "And I'm his wife. You can't make me leave him." Maya turned and ran. She ran down the hospital hallways, her heart pounding. She had to get to Daniel. Had to make sure he was safe. Had to. She pushed open the door to room 304 and gasped. Daniel's eyes were open. He was awake, and he was looking right at her. Maya couldn't breathe. Daniel was awake. His green eyes stared at her, confused but alert. The breathing tube was gone. He moved his hand slightly on the blanket. "You're real?" His voice came out scratchy and weak. Maya's legs nearly gave out. She grabbed the doorframe. "You're awake. Oh my God, you're awake." A nurse rushed in, pushing past Maya. Then another. Then a doctor. They surrounded Daniel's bed, checking machines, shining lights in his eyes, asking him questions. "What's your name?" "Daniel Carter," he whispered. "Do you know where you are?" "Hospital." "Do you remember what happened?" Daniel's face twisted with pain. "Bomb. My team. There was an explosion." The doctor nodded, making notes. "That's right. You've been in a coma for 7 months, Mr. Carter. This is remarkable." Daniel's eyes searched the room until they found Maya again. She stood by the door, tears streaming down her face. "Who is she?" Daniel asked. The nurse smiled. "That's Maya. She's been visiting you every single day." Something flickered in Daniel's eyes. Recognition? Impossible. He'd been asleep. The doctors examined Daniel for 2 hours. Maya waited in the hallway, her heart racing. When they finally let her back in, Daniel was sitting up slightly, drinking water through a straw. "Hi," Maya said softly. "Hi." Daniel studied her face. "The nurse said you visited me. Every day." "Yes." "Why?" Maya's throat closed up. How could she explain? How could she tell him the truth? Because, she started, because we're married, Daniel finished. Maya's eyes went wide. How did you? I remember, Daniel said slowly. Not everything. It's like dreams. I remember your voice. You reading to me. You told me stories. You held my hand and cried. Maya sat down hard in the chair. You heard me? Sometimes. Not always. It was like being underwater. Everything was dark and far away. But your voice. I knew your voice. Fresh tears poured down Maya's face. I'm so sorry. Daniel frowned. Sorry for what? For marrying you without asking. For using you. For being selfish and terrible and... Tell me the truth, Daniel interrupted. His voice was gentle but firm. Tell me everything. So Maya did. She told him about the Thompsons, about the cruel bet, about having nowhere to go, about finding him in his hospital room, alone and dying, and making the desperate choice to marry him. I know it was wrong, Maya said, her voice breaking. I know I had no right. You couldn't say yes. You couldn't say no. I took advantage of you when you couldn't fight back. I'm a terrible person. Daniel was quiet for a long time. His face was hard to read. Finally, he spoke. Did you take my money? No. I never touched anything of yours. Did you hurt me? Never. I promise. Did you visit me? Really? Every day? Yes. For 7 months. I read you books. I told you about my life. I talked to you like you were my friend, even though I knew you couldn't hear. But I could, Daniel said softly. I did hear. And your voice, it kept me alive. When I was lost in the dark, your voice was the only light I had. Maya looked up, shocked. Daniel reached out his hand. It shook from weakness, but he kept it extended. Thank you, Maya, for staying, for not leaving me alone. Maya took his hand, sobbing. You're not angry? I'm confused. I'm tired. Everything hurts. Daniel squeezed her hand gently. But I'm not angry. You saved my life. Maybe I save yours too. That seems fair. Over the next 3 weeks, Daniel got stronger. He did physical therapy, learned to walk again. His memory came back in pieces. Maya visited every day, just like before, but now they talked, really talked. Daniel told her about his time in the army, about his team, about the explosion that nearly killed him. Maya told him about her parents dying, about the Thompsons treating her like garbage, about how lonely she'd been her whole life. You're not alone anymore, Daniel said one afternoon. Maya smiled. It was a real smile, the first one she'd had in years. But the peace didn't last. 1 month after Daniel woke up, Maya went to hospital and found him angry. His jaw was tight. His hands were fists. What's wrong? Maya asked. Derek Williams. Daniel said, that name mean anything to you? Maya's blood turned to ice. Derek was Gwen's boyfriend, a rich, cruel man who'd tried to touch Maya at parties, who'd corner her in hallways, who'd made her feel unsafe in her own home. How do you know that name? Maya whispered, because he came here yesterday. He told me some interesting things about you, about the Thompsons, about what they do to you. Daniel, he said he owns you, that you're Thompson property. He said once you divorce me, he gets to... Daniel couldn't finish. His face was red with rage. Maya felt sick. He's lying. Is he? About owning me, yes. But... Maya took a shaky breath. He did hurt me. He tried to one night at a party. He pushed me into a room and... Did he rape you? Daniel's voice was deadly quiet. He tried. I fought him off. I ran. But Gwen blamed me. Said I led him on. Said I was a liar. Daniel stood up from his bed. He was shaky but determined. We're going to the police. What? No. Daniel, the Thompsons are powerful. Derek's family is rich. No one will believe me. I believe you. Daniel took her hands. And I won't let him get away with it. We're doing this together. The police came to the hospital. Maya gave her statement, shaking the whole time. Daniel sat beside her, holding her hand. The detective looked tired. Miss Thompson, Mrs. Carter, Daniel corrected firmly. Her name is Maya Carter. The detective nodded. Mrs. Carter, this is a serious accusation. Are you prepared for what comes next? The trial? The lawyers? The Thompsons will fight hard. I know, Maya said, but I'm tired being scared. I'm tired of letting them win. Derek Williams was arrested 2 days later. The Thompsons exploded with rage. Diana called Maya a liar. Gwen showed up at the hospital screaming. Mrs. Thompson tried to bribe the detective to drop the case, but the case moved forward. For months later, the trial began. Maya sat in the courtroom, wearing a simple green dress. Daniel sat behind her in the front row. He'd been released from the hospital weeks ago, but came every single day to support her. Derek's lawyer was vicious. He called Maya a gold digger, a liar, a girl who married a coma patient for money and now wanted more attention. Isn't it true, the lawyer said, pacing in front of Maya, that you fabricated this entire story to get revenge on the Thompson family? No, Maya said clearly. Isn't it true that you pursued Mr. Williams romantically? No. Then why was he in a bedroom with you? Because he dragged me there, Maya said, her voice stronger now. Because he put his hand over my mouth, so I couldn't scream. Because he told me no one would believe me if I told. Because he said I was nothing. The courtroom went silent. But I'm not nothing, Maya continued. I'm a person. I matter. And what he did was wrong. Daniel testified too. He told the jury how Derek came to the hospital to brag, how he'd threatened Maya, how he'd called her property. The Thompsons sat in the back row, their faces pale. The jury deliberated for 3 hours. Guilty. Derek Williams was sentenced to 8 years in prison. Maya collapsed in the hallway outside the courtroom, sobbing. Daniel wrapped his arms around her. It's over, he whispered. You did it. You won. We won, Maya corrected, looking up at him through tears. Daniel smiled. Then he did something surprising. He leaned down and kissed her forehead. Soft, gentle, full of promise. Thank you for being brave, he said. Maya's heart stuttered. For the first time, she wondered if this marriage, this strange, impossible marriage, might become something real. That night, Daniel asked Maya to have dinner with him at a small restaurant near the hospital. This is weird, right? Maya said, laughing nervously. Having a first date with my husband? Very weird, Daniel agreed. But nothing about us has been normal. They ate pasta and talked for hours. About favorite movies. About dreams. About the future. Maya, Daniel said as they walked home, I need to ask you something important. Maya's stomach twisted. Okay. Do you want to stay married to me? The question hung in the air. Because, Daniel continued, if you want a divorce, I understand. You married me to survive. Not because you loved me. If you want to be free, I won't stop you. Maya stopped walking. She turned to face Daniel under a streetlight. What if I don't want to be free? She asked quietly. Daniel's eyes widened. What if, Maya continued, I want to stay. What if these past months with you have been the happiest of my life? What if I'm falling in love with my husband? Daniel stepped closer. Then I'd say I'm falling in love with my wife too. He kissed her. Really kissed her this time. And Maya kissed him back, her heart soaring. Everything was about to change. The letter arrived on a Tuesday morning. Maya stared at the fancy envelope with the Thompson family seal. Her hands shook as she opened it. Inside was a letter from a lawyer. Daniel, Maya called out. They'd been living together in his small apartment for 2 months now. Actually living together. As husband and wife. As partners. Daniel came out of the bedroom, still buttoning his shirt. What's wrong? Maya read the letter out loud. Her voice got quieter with every word. Old Mrs. Thompson had died, and in her will, she'd left Maya 40% of all Thompson family stock. 40% of the entire company, worth millions and millions of dollars. I don't understand, Maya whispered. She hated me. Daniel took the letter and read it himself. At the bottom was a handwritten note from Mrs. Thompson, added just before she died. Maya, Daniel read aloud, you showed more courage than anyone in this family. You faced the truth when we hid from it. You are the only one who deserves this. Make something good from our shame. Margaret Thompson. Maya sat down hard on the couch. This can't be real. It's real, Daniel said, sitting beside her. Maya, you're rich now. You have power. Real power. The Thompsons went insane. Diana showed up at the apartment screaming. That money is ours. You stole it. I didn't steal anything, Maya said calmly. Your mother gave it to me. It was her choice. You poisoned her mind. You manipulated her. No, Maya said firmly. I told the truth. That's all I did. And the truth destroyed your lies. Gwen tried next. She came crying, begging Maya to share the money. We're family, Gwen sobbed. Please, Maya. I'm sorry for everything. Just give us something. Maya looked at the girl who'd made her life hell for 15 years, who'd set up the cruel bet, who'd protected Derek Williams. No, Maya said, you made your choices. Now live with them. The Thompson company started falling apart. Without Mrs. Thompson's money and Maya's stock, they couldn't pay their debts. Diana had to sell the mansion. Gwen's fancy lifestyle disappeared overnight. People in the city whispered about what happened, about Derek's trial, about Maya's testimony, about the Thompson family's cruelty finally catching up with them. Maya could have felt happy watching them fall, but she didn't. I just feel empty, she told Daniel one night. They sat on the couch in comfortable clothes, eating takeout food. I thought revenge would feel good, but it doesn't. It just feels sad. Daniel kissed her temple. That's because you're good, Maya. You're not like them. You never were. So, what do I do with all this money? All this power? Daniel smiled. What do you want to do? Maya thought about it for a long time. Then she knew. 3 months later, Maya announced her plan. She would use the Thompson stock money to build affordable housing, apartments for people who had nowhere to go, for foster kids aging out of the system, for families struggling to survive. I know what it's like to have nothing, Maya told the news reporters. I know what it's like to be scared and alone. No one should feel that way, so I'm going to help. The first building opened a year later. Maya stood at the ribbon-cutting ceremony, Daniel by her side. 50 families moved in that month. Families who'd been homeless. Kids who'd been in foster care like Maya. One little girl hugged Maya's legs. Thank you for my new room, she whispered. Maya cried happy tears. But the best surprise came on a Saturday morning. Daniel had been acting strange all week. Nervous. Excited. He kept checking his phone and smiling at secrets. What's going on with you? Maya asked, laughing. Get dressed, Daniel said. Something nice. We're going out. Where? It's a surprise. Maya put on a beautiful yellow sundress. Daniel wore a suit. He looked so handsome it made her heart hurt in the best way. He drove them to the park where they'd had their first real date, the place where they'd admitted they were. Falling in love. But the park looked different now. There were flowers everywhere, white and pink roses, candles in glass jars, soft music playing, and people, Daniel's army friends, Maya's new friends from her charity work, even a nurse from the hospital who'd first told Maya about Daniel. Daniel? Maya's voice shook. What is this? Daniel took both her hands. He was smiling so big. Maya Carter, he said, you are the bravest person I know. You saved my life when I couldn't save myself. You held my hand in the darkness. You chose truth when lies were easier. You chose love when you had every reason to choose hate. Tears streamed down Maya's face. I fell in love with you before I even opened my eyes, Daniel continued. Your voice guided me home. And every day since then, I've loved you more. Daniel got down on one knee. Maya gasped. Her hands covered her mouth. We're already married, Daniel said, pulling out a ring box. But that marriage happened in a hospital room while I was dying. You deserve better. You deserve romance. You deserve to be asked. He opened the box. Inside was a simple silver ring with a small diamond. "So I'm asking now," Daniel said, his voice thick with emotion. "Maya Rose Carter, will you marry me? For real this time? Will you choose me the way I choose you?" "Yes!" Maya shouted. "Yes, yes, yes." She dropped to her knees and kissed him. Their friends cheered and clapped. Music swelled. It was perfect. The second wedding happened 2 months later. This time, Maya wore a long white dress with lace sleeves. Daniel wore his military dress uniform. They got married in a small church with everyone they loved watching. "Do you, Maya Rose, take this man as your husband?" "I do," Maya said, squeezing Daniel's hands. "Do you, Daniel James Carter, take this woman as your wife?" "I do," Daniel said, his eyes shining with tears. "Then by the power vested in me, I now pronounce you husband and wife." Again, everyone laughed. "You may kiss your bride. Still kiss your bride." Daniel pulled Maya close and kissed her like it was the first time and the last time and every time in between. At the reception, they danced under string lights. Maya's head rested on Daniel's chest. She could hear his heartbeat. The heartbeat that almost stopped. The heartbeat that kept going. Because somehow, impossibly, they found each other. "What are you thinking?" Daniel whispered. "I'm thinking about that scared girl who walked into a hospital room 7 months ago," Maya said softly. "She thought she was alone. She thought she was broken. She thought no one would ever love her. And now..." Maya looked up at her husband, her real husband, her chosen husband. Now she knows she was wrong about everything. Daniel smiled and kissed her forehead. "I love you, Maya Carter. I love you too, Daniel Carter." 5 years later, Maya and Daniel bought a house. A real house with a garden and a porch swing. Maya's charity had built 12 housing complexes across the city. Hundreds of families had homes now because of her. Daniel went back to school and became a counselor for veterans with PTSD. He helped soldiers who'd been through what he'd been through, who were lost in the dark and needed a voice to guide them home. On their anniversary, they visited the hospital. Room 304 was empty now, waiting for a new patient. "This is where it started," Maya said, holding Daniel's hand. "No," Daniel corrected gently. "This is where we started. Together." They stood in that room, remembering the darkness, the fear, the impossible choice that became the best choice Maya ever made. "Do you ever regret it?" Maya asked, "Waking up married to a stranger?" Daniel pulled her close. "Every single day." Maya's heart dropped. "I regret," Daniel continued with a playful smile, "that I wasn't awake to see how beautiful you looked at our first wedding. That's the only thing I regret. Everything else? Marrying you was the best thing that ever happened to me, even if I was unconscious for it." Maya laughed and cried at the same time. They left the hospital hand in hand. The sun was setting, painting the sky orange and pink. They had a whole life ahead of them. A life they chose. A life they built. A life filled with truth, courage, and love. The Thompsons were gone now, scattered, broken by their own cruelty. But Maya had won. Not because she got revenge. Not because she got rich. She won because she refused to let cruelty define her. She won because she chose truth over lies. She won because she was brave enough to love and be loved. And in the end, that's the only victory that matters. Your turn to choose courage. Maya's story started with an impossible choice. But that choice changed everything. Maybe you're facing something hard right now. Maybe you feel alone. Maybe you think no one sees you or cares about you. Maybe cruel people have made you believe you don't matter. But you do matter. Just like Maya, you have the power to choose truth, to choose courage, to choose love, even when it's scary. If this story touched your heart, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with someone who needs hope today. Share it with someone who feels invisible. Share it with someone fighting their own battle. Leave a comment below and tell me, what would you do if you were Maya? Would you have walked into that hospital room? Would you have been brave enough to testify? Would you have chosen love? Your story matters. Your voice matters. Your courage matters. Hit that like button if you believe in second chances. Subscribe if you want more stories about ordinary people doing extraordinary things. And remember, the worst situations can birth the most beautiful blessings. When you choose courage, truth, and love, your happy ending is waiting. You just have to be brave enough to reach for it. Now go out there and choose your courage. Choose your truth. Choose your love. The end is just the beginning.